Welcome, race fans, back to SVR. My name is Webbo, here to join you for the race as usual. Hi to Wask, who joins us live, and anybody else who has managed to find the stream today. Looking forward to calling this one live with you, and do take part as much as you can without giving away any spoilers. This is how the championship looked after Barcelona. Mega Racing have 184 points, some 43 ahead of Delesi, and the head-to-head between Mega Racing and Delesi, and the rivalry continues, of course, throughout the rest of the master standings as well. Jamplacht Interiors Racing perhaps having their best placement in one of our divisions in third place on 121 points, with Burkestein on 101. Brokaga have 86, Kimmy's Racing Team just 4 behind, and Coach Dave have 65 at the current count so far anyway. Pat Finn, sir, not appearing in this film for those Monty Python and the Holy Grail fans, is missing today, unfortunately, missing his second race. I don't quite know. I'm questioning his commitment now, but he's on 99 points and heads the championship ahead of his teammate. We've got Wask, who has become something of a revelation recently with a double win, a back-to-back win so far, and of course the fastest lap for round 6 as well, meaning he maxed his points allocation throughout that one on 75 points, and is just 2 ahead of our Hungarian ace for Jamplacht, Revelit, who's also a previous race winner. Jazzy Beats is 5th place with Biggerwood in 6th on 55. Rizbak has 46 in 7th, and Sparkywatt has 40 points in 8th place. Yabo is in 9th with 38, joint with Thump, who has only been with us for the last 4 races but has been scoring heavily for his Delesi squad, with Brum in 11th, Stormborn 1 point behind, Milo on 19, and Rhino with 1 appearance so far out there in 14th place. We're ready to get underway then for the race. The drivers are ready on the grid. Let's take a look at how qualifying worked out for them. Sparky Watt for Coach Dave, only managing to qualify in 13th position. Obviously, it is a one-stop race for in terms of drivers planning how they're going to go about it. Here at Kyoto Driving Park in the AN division, we go about a one-stop. Soft and medium tyres are the required tyres. Black Evo qualified in 12th place, making, I think, a new appearance here in AN, and not the only one crossing divisions today. We've got Segrinch in 11th place in his PlayStation and MAR sponsored Bro Cargo car, with Rizbak in 10th place for the Kimmy's Racing Team. Biggerwood qualifying in 9th. Told me he'd put in an awful lot of practice ahead of this race to try and really maximise his results today, with Hervas, our new Spaniard, joining what is fast becoming the Hispania Racing Team, sponsored by Coach Dave. At the moment, our Spaniard joining us and debuting today in 8th place. Another driver who has put in a great deal of practice, because I've been there with him. Brum in 7th place. Starts just behind myself here in 6th place. Then we have Revelit and the usual suspects as we move towards the front. Revelit and Thump qualifying nicely up in the order, with Skycloud also debuting for her Kimmy's Racing Team and crossing the division and making her debut then with the Kimmy's Racing Team in the AN car. We have Wask qualifying in 2nd place, but it was V8 Eater who qualified. Well, it's saying here qualified in 1st. I don't think that's true. I think he actually qualified in 4th, and I think the replay has got himself a little bit weird, as Wask is just pointing out. I think it was, by the look of things, it is Wask in 2nd with in 1st, with Skycloud in 2nd, Thump in 3rd, and then the S2 driver V8 Eater crossing over to cover for Pat Finn. And actually quite an accurate cover in terms of level of pace. So let's get ourselves trackside here at Kyoto. This is the Yamagiwa forwards configuration, 15 turns. In the S1 and S2, they were rocking through the entire first two sectors completely flat out. It's a very different story here for the AN division, but we're under starters orders. We're ready for 20 laps, fixed lap racing around this fantastic and undulating and extreme topographical change circuit. So let's get underway then for proceedings, and we'll get the red lights off. And we'll get underway. So it is round 8 of the championship. And it's dropped the clutch and go, go, go. And there you've got an initial good launch from the Kimmy's Racing Team driver Skycloud drawing alongside with Revelit stuck around the outside, and in fact that was V8 launching up into third position, soon to follow through. There's Wask leading Skycloud at the front of the grid with V8 getting crowded out. There's a lot of very close racing through this initial snake section of turns 4, 5 and 6, and Wask and Skycloud lead them down into the grid. V8 is one wheel onto the grass, and teammate starts to come up down the inside and is feeling rather nervous at this stage. But a good start then from Revelit, from Brum especially, on the racing soft tyres and up to P5. And then it is all about how can Team Mega probably manage to navigate each other here. That is V8 getting to grips with this new car, starting on the medium tyre. Hervas in 8th place gets deposed down to 9th, with Black Evo scorching up into that 8th position and early doors as they head down into the first hairpin. We run round, and it's Wask, Skycloud, Thump and Revelit. Revelit then right behind Thump, explaining the fast start. These drivers are all on soft tyres at the head of the field, the ones that have made it up into the top 5, all starting on the soft tyre. And I have to say, in Team Mega, that we were not confident that the heavier fuel tank demands on the soft tyre would really be a viable starting option. So we kind of stuck ourselves out there on the medium tyre. And then I think the grid kind of dividing quite evenly between the drivers. Side by side, though, coming up to the corners go Black Evo. I think that was Brum and V8 side by side. Here they are as Brum actually overtakes V8 into turn 1 with his Deadpool helmet. And there he goes into a fantastic 5th place at the start, and recovering from a couple of very, very close runs on the way through those first opening laps. It's Rizbak in 10th place. Hervas, unfortunately, down to 11th. He was super nervous about binning the car. His target was to finish and not be lapped, I think, when he came into this. Black Evo in P9, losing out to Sir Grinch, who is on an absolute charge here. Sir Grinch, who moves up to 8th place on the medium tyres, no less. And the rest of the drivers then navigating their way through. That's V8 and and Brum. I think that was Brum just having a slight off-track excursion. Let's go back to a few seconds and see exactly what happened with Brum. Down into turn 8, gets a little bit wide, then is a little bit stuck on the outside. I think that's V8 who was just reacting to what was happening. We'll just replay that one more time and see, because Brum goes down. V8 is having a little look down the inside, possibly outbraked himself as they both go into unusual territory. That was V8 getting across the curb. We've been told by team captain to attack those curbs like crazy, but that was perhaps over the line. So I managed to sneak ahead of my my guest driving teammate and end up strangling myself way out wide into the first hairpin, and now just on the cutback and hoping to try and regain positions then on Brum and try and bring my teammate up into the order as well. There is Sir Grinch chasing us down in Team Mega, and behind him, teammate Black Evo with Hervas in 10th, Rizbak in 11th, and Sparky White in 12th. I'll tell you something, we lost Biggerwood on the opening lap due to a disconnection, unfortunately mechanical failure for our fantastic Biggerwood Yamplacked Interiors driver. His teammate, though, hovering in 4th place, so absolute heartbreak. And here, I think, is you've got the Team Mega drivers getting a little bit confused. First time working together. And I think probably not doing each other a great deal of favours at this stage. I will definitely hold my hand up here and say I was not enjoying having a very quick driver like V8 directly behind me. So, yeah, I was planning to yield as quickly as humanly possible here. This is Sir Grinch chasing us down in the matte black MAR Flower Boutique Bro Cargo Kart, and then we head all the way down on the flat out section, drop down the hill, and I think I said to my teammate at this moment, right, I'm going to let you through, and then I ended up a bit late on the brakes, so compromised into the corner. Sir Grinch, wow, straight on through. No second invitation necessary. Sir Grinch absolutely fairly capitalising with no contact to get through into P7. So a very opportune time, almost being wiped out by a certain driver's incompetency there for a moment. Black Evo defending from Hervas at the moment. It gets a big old tank slapper going on through the first hairpin, and you've got Rizback right there with him as well. Sparky Watt right at the back at the moment, not quite with the rest of the grid. But I'm sure trying to make sure he moves his way forward as much as possible. Damage on Sparky Watt's car at this stage of proceeding. Wask continues to lead the race ahead of Skycloud and his teammate now Thump, who is chasing down and in pursuit here. A bit of an older style livery, or possibly a new livery here for the Kimmy's Racing Team car for Skycloud. So not quite on brand, but certainly recognisably Kimmy's there, of course, on the back. Then there's Thump in third place. We have Reveille on his own in fourth. Then Brum still hanging on to fifth place and looking really good on those soft tyres at this stage, but burning through them, of course, on the heavier fuel load. So be lucky, I think, to get 7 or 8 laps maximum on the starting fuel. A couple of little Pride season, I should say, details on the Team Mega Driver's car. Helmet and wing mirrors, and also a little heart shape on the rear wing as well, just in case anybody is interested. But there it is. Yeah, we're celebrating Pride with our fabulous members, of course, throughout this Pride season. But we do have to rein in our aspirations to enjoy changing our liveries too often, or we get into trouble with the stewards. That is V8. It's a very wide. That's the S2 line that we were seeing throughout the course of the S2 race. The drivers absolutely maximising on the limit of adhesion on the dirt and going through the corners. But Sir Grinch dropping back again behind his rival. And unfortunately down to 8th position, going into the pits, coming out very early, it seems. So Grinch, then I'm absolutely talking rubbish. So Grinch didn't pit, so clearly had been off circuit for a moment. V8 Eater in 6th place, chasing down Brum. This appears to be the most likely source of an overtake and action. These AN cars absolutely beautiful through this section, and of course the slipstream compounds and builds, and the overspeed gets pretty extreme. Let's see if we can go left or right as we head in towards turn 6. It's on the right hand side. It's right round the outside on the medium tyres that have got a little bit better grip here at this stage, going just a touch onto the grass. And V8 Eater with a masterful overtake. Brum is not ready to give it up yet, though, as he looked like he was drawing alongside, but V8 Eater just getting the tail ahead and on the racing line and into P5 then at this stage. All the drivers ahead of him on the soft tyres, so he needs to keep them within a pit stop window naturally. And Brum is right there behind V8 Eater. We've then got Sir Grinch chasing down the second Mega Driver, and we've got Rizback up into P9 now, unlocking a little bit of pace at this stage. Hervas defending from Black Evo, who I think has dropped 2 positions from the last time we saw him. He was a bit further up, but just getting familiar with the car here, I think, Black Evo, and compromising practice time with his other racing duties, of course. Black Evo in 11th. Sparky Watt still down there in 12th place at the moment. The top 3 are still separated by not a lot, but too much to really be in striking distance, and we'll drop over to see what's happening next in this battle, where Brum continues to chase down V8 Eater. Brum, a much more seasoned driver in this particular car. V8 Eater, a little bit of inside knowledge here. V8 Eater showed up 5 minutes before the start of the race. I don't know how much practice he'd done in previously, but he'd just done a 2-hour race prior to this, eaten some breakfast, and showed up and was asking me strategic questions 5 minutes before the start of the race. And I think 2 of those minutes was spent in a voice channel with the rest of the group, just getting the race briefing. So very little in the way of good preparation for the race, and already he's quicker and he's in a great position. The lead medium tyre runner at the moment. So Grinch still on the back of this battle then for P5 with the top 4 closing into one another. I think we just need to have a look here because I think SkyCloud has taken Wask, so we just need to skip back a little way because that must have happened some time ago. Let's wow, this is getting on for a lap ago now. Let's have a look. SkyCloud, when did you get that done? Because that was a surprise for me. Where on earth are we? Here we are. Okay. Wow. So down towards turn 1 on lap 5 this is. SkyCloud going round. Is this an error perhaps from Wask? I think, sorry to say, it looks like it might have been. We'll just hang out with Wask on his run. Using the curb. Oh, it's just slightly too much curb. Okay. I've not seen that done before, but just hugging that inside line, and that releases SkyCloud all the way around. We're just going to skip on because we ended up going a long way back. So that explains the difference. Leigh currently P2 and P3. SkyCloud leading then on her debut with the AN division. A very, very impressive. Anyone who saw her win in G2 will know her quality, but showing up in a completely different race car and taking the lead in lap 6. Very, very good indeed. Revelit in 4th place and on his own here, our Hungarian ace with the googly eyes on the helmet. It looks very characterful as he heads down into the first chicane. And then we've got the next battle pack led by V8 Eater. Brum just being gapped slightly here, I think, at this stage, it's fair to say. But he's nursing that front right tyre on the soft compound. Up and back up the hill again then. Really difficult to know which gear to take on the way up the hill, whether to mash into 4th as soon as possible or to hold in 3rd as long as possible to get that extra little bit of torque. And Brum is clearly suffering. Lap 6 of the 20, but starting on his 65 litres of, I want to say 60 litres of fuel, let's get that one right, at the start is very heavy on the car. Little touch. A second little touch on the way into then the right-hander. It was an attempted overtake, I think. It didn't quite work out. Let's maybe just wind that one back and have a look from the chase cam as we try to find a way in. I think Brum somewhat opened the door and then closed it again. But I think Rubin's racing, no problems there, but fighting hard. And then as we go down, we're just hoping that Brum pits, but he actually didn't. So Thump was the first to blink. Thump was the first pitter. Then for Leigh off the hard tyres, only making it to the end of lap 6, giving himself a fairly hefty 14-lap stint to run on the medium tyre, but with slightly less than starting fuel to get home. And as the battle continues then all the way down the long snake of turns 2, 3, 4 and 5, and then heading off towards what is turn 6, and it's side-by-side action. Now we're giving each other a much wider margin. And around the outside, we managed to go with obviously the compromised grip for Brum there on the front right tyre. He's now vulnerable, but that means that Team Mega are now 4th and 5th on the medium tyre, the harder of the 2 compounds. So Grinch is also on that medium, and he now needs to make the pass here and get by Brum. SkyCloud leads Wask, and Revelit is the order at the moment. Those drivers all on the medium tyres, very defensive on the way into the first of the hairpins. I think Brum was very wide on the exit of that sequence as well. Just holding onto the second chicane, very dangerous chicane, and if that's proof positive, well, there it is. So Grinch into the barrier and damaging his car. That's a big shame for him though, with the medium tyre on board. All 3 at the front are going to pit. I think that was a screeching tyre of someone discovering just how bad their damage was. It was Sir Grinch. Unfortunately, we better just replay that. He probably won't thank us, but going through, remember, he just clattered the barrier. So as he floors the throttle on the way out of the corner, as usual, but the back end's going to snap around due to the reduced front grip, and car 236, further contact with the barrier, decides not to bail to the pit lane, and contradicts me, immediately goes straight into the pit lane. So Wask Revelit, Brum, Sir Grinch, all into the pits. So that means that V8 Eater is our new leader on lap 8, ahead of myself, and then Rizback, the medium runners, all coming to the fore now, thanks to the offset strategy. So we'll see who is right and who is wrong about this one. Hervas in 4th place was sticking to the same strategy, I believe, and team captain, he'd been drilled by in practice by his team captain Vader as to how to tackle the race and the race distance here. Hervas P4, Rizback P5. We've got close battling still between Black Evo. We've got Skycloud fresh out of the pits on a brand new set of mediums, and already starting to gap away from Black Evo. Wask is there in 7th place, still net 2nd technically, and Thump in 8th place. Can see his teammate, I'm sure, talking through the tactics, talking through their plans for the remainder of the race, but all on new tyres. A little bit of fuel on board Wask, a little bit more fuel for Wask than for Thump. I wonder if the same situation for us as teammates, that the faster of the two uses the more fuel. It doesn't seem to work for Vader, but there you go. Revelit in P9, he's pitted. Brum, snaking around, and Brum and Sir Grinch rejoin and cross swords once again. So they'll go side by side. Now, what did Sir Grinch do? He put a new set of softs on, but I don't see a set of softs being able to do essentially 13 racing laps. I think he's going to be into the pits once again, unfortunately. Later on, Brum managed to pit there, and on his planned strategy, Brum, remember, started on the softs. He's now moved on to the medium tyres. We have Sparky Watt. Remember, we lost Biggerwood, unfortunately, but Sparky Watt with the Belgian flag on the helmet is in P12 at the moment and on the soft tyres. V8 Eater leads. He's running in the 135.1 second mark. At this point in proceedings, we really didn't know what was going on. In terms of the race, it was really difficult to tell where the fastest drivers were going to filter back through. But this group, we were hoping, was going to start to slow down Skycloud's ascendancy. However, Skycloud now, of course, her next victim here is going to be teammate Rizback, so should be able to pass with a certain degree of safety. Well, they both take the widest possible line on the way through the first of the 2 hairpins. So trying to make their way through. Does Rizback lift here, I wonder? I think he does, and allows Skycloud through. That was nice formation flying then for the Kimmis Racing Team crew, as Hervas is in that P3, and I imagine will be overtaken very soon indeed by Skycloud, who's got a great line going through that final hairpin with the newer tyres on her AN divisional Red Bull Junior car, getting the slipstream, and then a choice to make, high or low. She goes high and wide and around the outside. Are we going to make it stick? Well, actually a little cutback, nice and neat, but Hervas hanging on here. Let's join Skycloud on board as we go through this frantic section. It's really difficult when you're unsighted from what's going on to your usual reference points, absolutely underneath the rear wing. Hervas giving up the inside line into the corner, and Skycloud cleanly through and relying on both skill and, of course, the new tyre to get through into turn 6. Back at the front, we've got Team Mega running 35s, 34s, 35s, 34s here, but that's probably not going to be quick enough to build the offset necessary to take the soft tyres shortly. I think targeting lap 13 or 14 it was, after starting, of course, on the medium tyres. There's Rizback in the 5th position. Behind him is now Wask, and Wask running through. Somehow or other, Black Evo has made his way in front of Thump. Black Evo still on his starting medium tyres, so Thump may have been off circuit unfortunately, through that sector. But Wask with the red helmet, Thump with the on-brand Delesi helmet, but Wask with the all-red, cycling through then on the way out of the hairpin at the end of the circuit. Thump in 7th, chased, having made the move back past. He's not going to forgive me if I've missed his overtake. Here we go, down in the inside, and a tiniest of touches possibly might be that the that the lag between them was falsely positive there with contact. But Thump making his way through past Black Evo once again, with Revelit, who was in P4, now in P9. And running, well, he had a 58 and a 38 and then a 35 on lap 10 that I can see. So that is roughly equal to what the lead pair are doing on their medium tyres. What can SkyCloud see from her perspective? Well, she can't see the Team Mega drivers in front, but of course the offset in the pit lane is about 14 to 15 seconds plus the time it takes to refuel. It's a very misty and humid day in Kyoto. It was a warm conditions, but the mountains almost invisible at this point in the race. So this is SkyCloud. Just get a quick look at her helmet there. Can't get very close to it, but like I say, a non-official Kimi's Racing Team livery. And then Hervas. It looks like red helmets are the popular choice here in the AN division at the moment. Rizbak in 5th place. And there is Wask catching Rizbak, the Frenchman. They're on different strategies, of course. But Rizbak can very legitimately hold up the Delesi car here. So it's certainly going to be a good idea for Wask to be careful on his way through. It's only lap 11, and we won't want things to go wrong or awry at this stage. But losing ground at the moment to SkyCloud with 2 cars in between them. I think Wask is losing track here of a potential win, unfortunately for him, and possibly fortunately for the missing Pat Finn. So remember, Wask going for his 3rd race on the bounce to win, and he'll do his best here. He's got the fastest lap at this stage, a 1:32.9. There were many drivers, myself included, who weren't even qualifying in the 1:32.9s, so that underlying just how much pace Wask had found at this stage of proceedings. Goes through turn 6, following Rizbak in the Kimi's Racing Team down the hill towards turn 8 and the first chicane. No attempt at a move, just looking for a good exit here. Try and help him up the hill towards that big stop into the first hairpin. Do we go for the lunge for the move here to the outside? Rizbak obviously then doesn't defend the inside, leaves a gap, and Wask expertly, decisively through into P5 then, with just Hervas separating himself, and current net leader, I should say, SkyCloud. And then you can hear the tyres screaming for mercy through the next corner. That was Rizbak almost sideswiping into Thump. Thump went through. Rizbak losing the car, going through the second chicane. Poor tyres, and of course also a problem with having dirty air from the car in front, but did well to actually save the car there, Rizbak. And congratulations for that one. It's lap 12, and then again we see drivers with a previous accident coming through that final hairpin and losing traction significantly. Rizbak in 7th. Further back though we have Revelit, and behind him Black Evo at this stage, just running on fumes at this point. And so Grinch in for pit stop number 2. Obviously didn't put a lot of fuel in before, but has to use the medium tyres. So has had to go to fix the damage first off, and then has gone in for a set of mediums. That allows Brum, who featured so highly earlier on and stopped, I think, one of the first drivers to stop off the soft tyre, is having to nurse these tyres to get them home, I think. At this stage, Sparky Watt in 11th. He's on the soft tyres as well, so I think due a pit stop very soon. There is Grinch out in 12th and on that new medium tyre. V8 to leads, running in a 36.5. Very clear indication that the front right is absolutely dying. So you've got one bad lap, it turns into a second bad lap, and before you know it, you filter out and drop behind the drivers who you were hoping to be battling with. So here comes on lap 13 V8 to come through. And I think he makes, yes, he turns left, makes the decision, heads into the pit lane, followed in short order by myself. And that will mean that SkyCloud resumes the lead of this race. And how far is she away from Wask and Hervas at the moment? Well, it's a decent amount of time. It's probably 5-6 seconds, I think, at this point. Wask really needs to get a hurry on and get past Hervas, then needs to catch SkyCloud, and all at the same time save his tyres for a potential battle at the end of the race. Car number 50, Wask, winning the previous 2 races on the trot, but this round is getting away from him here with the debutant SkyCloud. Once again, alongside is Wask, and he's now given the outside, invited to try and make this move on the marbles, and does so very neat and tidy from Wask. Once again, it's exactly what we expect from a great Canadian driver, and Hervas then in P3, equipping himself incredibly well here on his debut, and mixing it with the best of them. On his medium tyres. He still hasn't stopped. Of course, Thump has stopped, and he's in net P3 at the moment for the Delesi Racing team. So running through that first hairpin, car number 58, Thump, as he draws alongside Hervas, and he'd be very, very hopeful to get ahead before they go through this difficult chicane. Manages it nicely. The approach to that chicane is quite difficult. You either lift early and get the car stable, or you take your chances on the curb and try and brake after the curb. But braking on the curb is a very dangerous situation indeed. Reveille is in 5th place. V8 Eater came out of the pits on new soft tyres. They're not too far away from Reveille. That means Hervas pits now for Coach Dave. It's lap 14 of the 20. And V8 looking like the man most likely to make a manoeuvre here, as the field spread is about half the circuit now at this point, and V8 then moving left, jinking right, using a little bit of the curb, and then moving ahead, actually in the snake here, not wanting to wait to try and take his chances, and just making the best of the opportunity as it presents itself to him, and puts in a fastest sector in so doing. That's probably helped by the slipstream on the back of Reveille's car. So V8 P4 at this stage, and hungry for a podium for Team Mega, with the missing Maestro, the postman Pat. We call him the postman because he always delivers when he's here. But he's taken a couple of races off, and I think that might be the last of his times that he takes off this season. Reveille in P5. I love the eyes on the helmet. It looks fantastic, especially when the helmet starts to lean into the corners. It's got a great character on it. Reveille then 5th place, splitting the Team Mega drivers at this point. Hugely impressive from our debut drivers here, our reserves, SkyCloud, V8 Eater, and then Hervas as well. Further down in the order, you've also got Black Evo racing for Buckstein in the division, and outshining several of the regular season fixtures who are used to the car, far more used to the car. You have to say. This is Hervas. He came out on the soft tyres. He's come out in 8th place, and he's behind Brum at this point. And the top 6 are all on the back straight, on the north straight, or north flat out section, as I should probably call it, because there's nothing straight about the difference between turns 2 and turn 6. But there is Brum in P7. Hervas just trying to make sure he doesn't take too much out of the soft tyres, I think, at this stage. Let's join Hervas on board as we go through the 2 closest drivers on the grid at the moment, as SkyCloud leads Wask, Thump at the front of the grid. Another pit stop in the cycle at the moment. I'm not quite sure who that is. It's a Grinch, unfortunately, again. So just joining Hervas. Now, I want to say that is a Barcelona icon. the crest. I think that's Barcelona. Yes, on his car. I don't know if that meets with Team Captain Vader's approval or not, but he's customised his car regardless, and you can see some great graphical fidelity going through the rear view mirror there. And over the difficult chicane, the second chicane, Senior Dude liking the Postman moniker. I've just decided to call Pat here, and into that final hairpin. So Hervas looks like we're going to be on his shoulder here, or at least on the side of the cockpit pad as we go towards to make an overtake. Brum to the inside, Hervas going for the switchback. Brum cutting that off somewhat. I wonder if Hervas could have gone fully round the outside of this run. And then, oh, that is tremendous to see the grass and the clippings up into the face of Hervas as he's trying to negotiate this difficult section directly behind the Buckstein driver. Hervas, how brave are you feeling? Round the outside, Hervas. You've got to go for it. Oh, very nice indeed. It's a lift. It's a duck out. It's a wait for the car to grip in. And Hervas goes through and around that outside manoeuvre for turn 6. Congratulations. Fantastic overtake from Hervas. And as I say, on his debut, feeling very nervous as he approached the race. I was making my way on the soft tyres with a decent grip advantage here over Revelit at this stage. Lap 17 of the 20. Starting to get excited about the opportunity to maybe get a 5th place, and then in front of those two drivers you've got V8 Eater closing in on Thump at this stage, and also I think building the excitement and hoping to get to grips with a potential podium on his debut. There are so many details on V8 Eater's helmet. It would be impossible for me to show you properly what that helmet looks like. I don't even understand most of the references on there. But it is available to view in the showcase if you're friends with him. So be friends with V8 and you can study that helmet. I think he adds something to it after each race as well, or with whatever's going on in the world at any given point. Here we have Jan Placht Interiors and Team Mega going for it. Little snake, maybe a little look to the inside. Thought we might try our look around the outside. Let's see if we can hang on. This was everything clenched moment. Managed to complete the move. Revelit was very kind as well to let that one go without too much in the way of argy-bargy on the corner. We've been very close in pace. We qualified for the division, I think, just a few thousandths of a second apart. He was faster than me. I'm sure I must point that out. But yeah, we've been pretty close on average throughout the course of the season. So we do meet each other quite often on the racetrack. You've got Thump in 4th place, but V8 Eater, it looks like Team Mega doing kind of synchronized overtakes. V8 Eater using a little bit of grass on the outside on the way through the corner, and then he's got that inside line on the way into the hairpin, of course, with the tyre advantage at this point. I imagine that kind of started on the run through the previous chicane, because it would be unnatural for V8 to get quite that close, quite that quickly. On the back. So it's lap 18 of the 20. We come through this dangerous chicane then for the 18th time, and it is Team Mega P3 and 5, Team DeLessi P2 and 4, and out in front you've got Skycloud absolutely bossing this situation, and coming up to lap the rearmost runner, which I think is still possibly Sparky Watt. It's Sir Grinch on his 2-stop strategy. Well, it's not a strategy. It's kind of a mitigation aspect. So penultimate lap begins. The gap between Skycloud and Wosk looking like around a 1.5 seconds, maybe 1.8 from that angle. I wish I had the live time gaps for you, but I don't. Wosk running in a 34.2, a 34.1. Skycloud's previous lap, a 34.6, so Wosk with a big chunk of pace in hand here on the previous lap, and I wonder if that is just Wosk carefully managing the tyre on the way through this run. V8 Eater P3, Thump P4, myself in P5, ahead of Revelit, who is trying to nurse the front right tyre home at this stage. Runs through the penultimate through the first of the 2 difficult chicanes here at Yamagiwa in the Kyoto configuration. Hervas with then Brum and Rysbach battling over 8th and 9th position as the race draws towards a conclusion. In towards that hairpin they go. Rysbach looking good, I think, on the softer compound tyre against Brum. Brum looking like he was struggling on the mediums here. Both drivers, of course, on very little fuel with just a lap and a half left in the tank, if that was the strategy option here. And there goes Rysbach, just holding it as well. I think we might need to see that again from Rysbach. Let's see, was it a style point relevant maneuver? He was on the slightly lower grip point. Oh, I don't think I can give a style point to that one. Sorry, Rysbach. But side by side we go as we head in towards that difficult chicane. Cutting across the path of the driver behind is a very difficult place to be. I think Brum made that mistake on his own. Let's have another look, shall we? Sorry about the camera selection. It's not particularly easy. As we go into here, we're out onto the grass, and then we do get collected, I think, by Rysbach. Rysbach going into the front of the order. So on the last little straightaway here, Brum getting passed by Black Evo and by Rysbach, who is waiting. A very, very sporting gesture there from Rysbach. Given the fact that that Brum was off the circuit already, he's given up 2 positions to allow Brum back through. He's lost a place to Rysbach. I wonder what team captain makes of that particular kindness. And whether it was better to let the stewards battle it out. Here is Wask then, chasing down Skycloud. There is not a huge difference in tyre wear between the 2 of them, has to be said. Wask is going to have to perform something of a miracle in the final sector to try and overcome Skycloud. Through they go, out of that final hairpin. 2 major braking points to go left in the race. Skycloud, lots of pressure on her shoulders, trying to collect the points. Oh, that's Wask with a huge slide on the way through the next corner. And that was massive. Means he's going to end up losing that position, but I saw something else on the track map, unfortunately. And I think, in all fairness, I have to show this next moment. This was V8 Eater in 3rd, Thump in 4th. And then just as we saw Wask slipping and sliding on the way out of the 2nd chicane, here I am coming out of the final hairpin, and just the slowest, most pathetic slide and losing a position I think you're likely to see at any point. A slow motion spinella for me. But Skycloud, no such dramas, passing the blue flag. But Skycloud debuts in the AN division and becomes a driver to win Kyoto Driving Park on her debut, as she did in the G2 division in Daytona. So winning in 2 different cars so far. V8 Eater did get the podium in the end, with Wask 2nd, Thump in 4th place, Revelit claiming the 5th, and hanging my head with absolute shame to cross the line and apologise to the team under the flag in 6th place. Hervas, a fantastic debut from Hervas in P7. Black Evo is running in P8. We've just got Rysbach off the circuit slightly again, as they both come into this chicane where they came unstuck before. I think Rysbach might have just been running out of soft tyres. Huge slide from Rysbach, unfortunately. So he did end up on the grass again as Black Evo goes underneath the checkered flag to take home P8. We'll see the checkered flag now. There it is. And Brum coming home to finish 8th and 9th for Bergstein Transport Service. Rysbach in 10th. Sparky Watt from the back, and with a problem at the first stint, managing to come home in 11th. And good effort from Sir Grinch, who has a fairly scarred-looking AN car there, but 2-stopping his way to 12th position. Congratulations, though, to car 53, to Skycloud and Kimi's racing team. She's won in a GT3. She's won in an Adrian Newey Red Bull Junior. Can she do it in a Super Formula 23? We will see later on in the season, but congratulations to Skycloud, Wask and V8 Eater. 3 different teams in the top 3. Thanks very much for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed today's race, and do all the good things on the channel if you can. Super chat thanks are open. We've got
we've got memberships and all sorts of ways to support the channel. And make sure you're subscribing to @svr-racing.com. But from me, Webbo, from all of us here at SVR, thank you for watching, and we will catch you on the next race day.